Alright, let's everybody just calm the fuck down.
When it comes to the sitcoms of the 90s, one of the funniest was Martin. Three seasons of the funniest stuff ever. One season that was okay and one season that, well, like an uncle who lives in the back room at Big Mama's house, we just don't talk about it. Martin was full of hilarious characters.
Man, sit your ass down.
So good.
Of course, pudding. That's my special sauce. I made it with pork and bean juice.
Sure enough, have me a wish sandwich.
What's a wish sandwich, bro, man?
Wish I had some meat to go up on it.
Quotable catchphrases and sometimes over-the-top misadventures.
Go sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
But behind the comedy and catchphrases, there was a lot of unanswered questions in the show. Where did Tommy work? Who was the real Big Shirley? But for this video, the question is, who killed Martin Mama's bird? In season 2 of episode 9, Martin's mama, Mama Payne, goes on a trip, leaving her bird Ruby over the weekend. After what seems to be only a day, they discover that Ruby has died, and Gina thinks the bird froze to death because she left the window open. The result ends in Mama Payne freaking out, and instead of blaming Gina, she takes her anger out on Martin.
Hey, Mama. Did Gina tell you what happened? No, Mama. No.
But nothing about this sounds right. Let's start with how they say the bird died. It froze to death. I'm gonna call bullshit on that one, and here's why. The bird was kept inside the entire time, and the apartment isn't cold enough because you see Gina walking around in her gym clothes, and it definitely can't be freezing outside because we see Pam wearing what she's wearing when she walks in the door. We have all seen what freezing cold looks like on the show. In season 3, episode 16, Ain't Nothing Going Up But the Rent, it is so cold they are all bundled up, and cold literally brings back a frozen pizza. They claim it's because they left the window open. They were gone for what seems like 2 hours. If you look at where the bird is placed and where the window is, there is no way that it would have gotten cold enough in the apartment for anything or anyone to freeze to death. Birds can survive in freezing weather, snow and frost temperatures well below zero. One species of bird that can survive is the yellow-headed Amazon, which is the species of bird that Mama Payne owns. So there was no way in that location the bird was in Martin's apartment, was it below zero. And even if it was, parrots can survive outside in the snow for weeks or months. Ruby was left alone for what may have been a few hours. So Ruby did not freeze to death. So the question becomes, how did Ruby die? I went to see some of the ways that a pet parrot ends up dying. On the website exoticpetvet.net, the top 10 ways were dehydration, unclipped wings, toxic fumes, trauma, toxic food or plants, other animals or plants, hand feeding mistakes, owner-caused disease, heat exposure, or owners sleeping with their pet. After reading each one, we can eliminate several. Unclipped wings because Ruby was still in her cage, or toxic fumes because none was present, and even if there was, the window was open to allow ventilation. We can rule out trauma and other animals, heat exposure, and the bird wasn't sleeping with Martin and Gina when it was there. So then we have dehydration. It takes about 3 days for a parrot to die from dehydration. So as much as Mama Payne loved Ruby, I doubt she forgot to give her water. And even if Martin and Gina didn't, she was only there for about a day and a half, so we can knock that one out as well. Toxic food or plants. When we're talking about toxic food or plants, we mean things like chocolate or household plants that can be poisonous to birds. I don't think Ruby was given any candy, nor was she around any plants because there isn't any in Martin's apartment. Hand feeding mistakes usually applies to young or baby birds. Ruby has been around for years. So that leaves us owner-caused diseases. This has to do with a few things: being around other birds who are sick, baby birds being around other birds too soon. Those aren't really factors here. One of the other things is that owners can give their birds infections directly. It states, owners must understand that it is dangerous for pet birds to have direct contact with their owners' mouths. We carry bacteria and fungi that can cause serious infection or even death in our birds. Birds should never be kissed with an open mouth, nor should birds be allowed any contact with the owner's teeth, tongue, lips, or saliva. I know, a lot of you are saying black people don't feed animals with their mouths. Right. Just like black people don't watch anime, or black people aren't serial killers, or black people don't eat mayonnaise. Getting sort of tired of that phrase, black people don't shit. It's getting old, we need to stop saying it. Mama Payne and Ruby were close, very close. At the end of the episode, you see that they did everything together. Tons of pictures. She took her birds to different places, to church, to the store, on vacation. The way she acted when that bird died, you would have thought that it was Martin's brother or sister. But to Mama Payne, Ruby was like her second child. And like a mother would breastfeed her baby, I would not put it past Mama Payne to mouth feed Ruby or consistently kiss all over Ruby, showering her with love and affection. I also don't think Mama Payne took Ruby to the vet on a regular basis. She is from the old school way of thinking, where home remedies fix everything. Proof of this, in episode 21 of season 1, I'm Not Your Superwoman, Martin gets sick and Gina is too busy with work to nurse him back to health. So his mama steps in and gives Gina a list of things to do.
You put garlic in his shoes. You rub pork fat on his chest. Got to be an oily fat. A boiled egg in a sock and you're hanging in the doorway.
Right. So if she's doing all these outdated old school methods to take care of her sick son who is human, what do you think she might have done to take care of her sick bird? At the end of the day, it wasn't Gina, it wasn't Martin, hell, it wasn't even Bruh Man. The person to blame for the unexpected death of Martin's mama bird was Martin's mama. This doesn't mean she did it on purpose. Every year, owners of exotic birds aren't thoroughly educated on how to take care of them. They are usually gifts or bought because they are pretty. In my own experience, my aunt owned a canary. She allowed it to fly around the house all the time, and one summer, she left the ceiling fan on, and well, you can guess the rest. Some bird owners try to treat their pet birds like cats or dogs, forgetting they are birds. And they end up meeting their end in many ways because they just don't know any better. According to the website windycityparrot.com, some of the ways a pet bird can die in some of the craziest ways are falls into a glass of water and drowns, flies into a mop bucket and drowns, flies into an open oven, falls into a boiling pot of water, glue traps, home cleaners, sucked into a vacuum, runs into a ceiling fan, secondhand smoke, and scented candles, just to name a few. With all of these different ways, it wouldn't be surprising at all that Mama Payne inadvertently was the one that made Ruby pass on to the next life. Thank you guys so very much for watching. If you want to support the channel, make sure you subscribe if you have not. Click that like button, that notification bell, so you do not miss a video. If you can, please share with everyone, everywhere you possibly can. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
To say goodbye since my mama's bird has gone away.